I think that cities have always cared about their young people, whether it's official education in the public sphere or in the private sphere, or whether it's service organizations that help them. I think there are a couple of reasons why it's so important nowadays to serve our youth. One is that there are a lot of youth who are out of control, who come from fatherless homes, being raised by a single parent, probably a mother. She works. They've got probably a lot of free time on their hands, and it's much better to have them in some kind of a constructive program so they're not out tearing up the city or going on to drugs or something like that. That's one reason. And then the second reason is that they're going to grow up to be adults. And I think it's important for them to try to get a feeling for the significance of leading a life that creates some kind of positive change and not just getting along by going along. And sometimes in a Big Brothers organization or a YMCA, a young person might find himself or herself and all of a sudden realize that there's a calling out there, a mission, and that we're going to be the leaders of tomorrow, so we have to start today to gear up for that. It's more important than it was when I was being raised, although I did go to the YMCA once in a while. But it's more important because now, first of all, there's so many more kids than there were. The population is much larger. Secondly, because of the unseemly influence of drugs and alcohol and gun violence on people's lives. And training people in the right way when they maybe don't have the kind of solid home that you and I came from is, in my opinion, one of the keys to saving the cities for tomorrow. Well, I think that they're doing some of the stuff that's happening here with MCCOY and the people that are being advised by MCCOY, the Marion County Council on Youth, and many cities around the country probably have sandlot basketball that's organized, that have gyms where some of these kids can go. They have to have positive and worthwhile activities to fill their time, or nature absorbing a vacuum, they're going to be filling their time with stuff that we know is not good for them or the city. A city cannot be a success in the future if it doesn't take care of its children today. It's just as plain as the writing on the wall that cities are people. Cities are organisms. They either grow or they die. They don't stand still. And part of the growth is with the younger generation that's coming on through. We have a terrible problem with urban education throughout America. I don't know the answer to that, but the teachers can do only so much. And then it's up to the parents, if there are two parents around, or the one parent, and that has to be supplemented now, it seems, by service organizations that are dedicated to helping young people grow up in a strong and proper way. Well, of course I had mentors. Nobody makes themselves. There's no such thing as a self-made man or woman. We all are indebted to other people for so many things. For the roads we drive on, for the sidewalks we walk on. We didn't put them there. We didn't write the books we read. We didn't bring in the food that we have at home, that we got at the grocery store. We're all indebted to others. So that's why it takes a village to raise a child. Now, in specific terms of the child himself or herself, if she does not or he does not have a strong family, he's got to find some strength somewhere. She's got to find some guidance somewhere. She's got to find some help, some counseling, some direction in life, or she or he is just going to drift. And that's one of the problems we have. There are too many kids that are drifting through teenagehood into adulthood without understanding that there is a way up and out, if you want to put it that way, without understanding that guns and violence and drugs are very detrimental, not only to their own development, but also to the well-being and the health of a city. I would say that building buildings is easier because there's a tangible result, and when it's done, it's done. with the kids, whether they're my own kids or kids in the city. You know, it's an unfinished work. It goes on and on and on. Continuing education, continuing guidance, continuing support. It's all very important, it seems to me. And every city has to struggle with this. And many, many cities have very worthwhile organizations, like here in Indianapolis, that are dedicated to serving youth and trying to give them or show them a better way. I think the congratulations are in order to the MCCOY organization for 20 years of service to the community by serving others and training others and advising others and helping them understand that performance is necessary and that you're not just, as it were, a babysitter for kids, that you have to give them positive instruction and give them worthwhile pursuits in their off time. And I salute MCCOY, and I'm glad that we got it started back when I was mayor, and I wish it all the best in the next 20 years.